Thunder, we're live. This is hot. Thank you, Thunder. Thank you all for being here. I'm Jim Smith, the president of Northern State University, and I recognize and know most of you, but those of you who I don't, thank you for coming out. The day is exactly as we scripted it. The temperature is right, although Dean Geyer looks like she's cold. I don't know how that's possible in the middle of the summer, but all right, okay. Welcome to a project that's been a long time in the making. I asked Nathan Reedy, is it really 5.5 years? And Nathan said to the day almost 5.5 years. Some of you will know we started this project and we're going to do a smaller edition. It actually was going to be on the opposite side of this facility. And as we look more and more at it, we realized that the best spot was facing to the north with a view that is really outstanding, a view of campus that is absolutely outstanding. What we will do in just a few minutes, we'll have a couple of us speak, but we will actually cut a ribbon, and the ribbon will go from, I believe, that corner to that corner, and we will cut the ribbon, which will be the official dedication of the Joseph H. Barnett Physical Education and Convocation Center expansion. As I said before, it's been a while in the making, but I think when you go inside, those of you who have not been inside, I think you will recognize that what we have done is a tremendous improvement to our campus, a tremendous improvement to our athletic facilities, and something that all of our students can enjoy, because the weight room and the cardio room on the second floor are not restricted for athletics. They are for all of our students to use, and we will have open hours for that to happen, and we know that's already starting to happen as we've had students coming in. It's also open to full-time faculty and staff, and we hope that more of us will be up there and working out and enjoying the great facility. You saying I need to work out, Thunder, or you need to work out? Your work study can be cut, you know, my friend. Oh, I don't need to work out now. Okay, all right. You're quick on the uptake, Thunder. When we started this, many of you know that Nathan Reedy and his father and his mother and the whole family got excited about what we might be able to do. I think it started with a pep talk from Coach Meyer many years ago, and Nathan's father said, this locker room facility is horrible, Coach. And not that Coach Meyer didn't know that, because we did know it, but we didn't know what the solution was. So after those years, 5.5 years in the making, as I said, we decided we would add on not only a locker room, but we would add on a tremendous amount of space that would really transform the facility. Thanks to the vision of folks like Neil Reedy and others who have been involved from the very beginning, what you'll see today as you walk into the facility are coaches' offices that I think are second to none. You'll see new locker room facilities that are clearly at the top of our Division II and probably rival many Division I facilities. We have a wrestling room that's unlike probably Coach Tim ever dreamt that it would be, and the second floor really is designed to be the highlight of this facility. Before I turn the microphone over to Nathan to share a few of his thoughts, I want to recognize a few folks who are here that this wouldn't have happened without. Regent Harvey Jewett is here to my right. Regent Jewett is one of the members of the Board of Regents that voted to allow this to go forward. So without Harvey's vote, we wouldn't be here. I know I saw Dean Marski earlier. Dean has been with us all the way in the back. Dean is, I'm going to say principal. Is that your title at HKG? One of the principals at HKG, and Dean has been with us from the very first drawings that were literally on the south side of the building and much, much smaller to where we are today. And Dean's architectural work, I think you'll say, is a real tribute to the addition to this building. Andy Schoeneman, who is not a principal at HKG, so Andy got to be here every day during the construction process. Andy, I think you're in the, where? Oh, way in the back by the band, all right. Andy was here working with us almost every day on this addition, representing HKG and the architectural interests of this facility. Don Erlenbush, who I know doesn't want to stand up, but I'll get him to wave. Don has been, he is going to stand, all right. Don was our CFO from the very beginning of the thoughts until almost we finished, and Don decided to retire, and He tells me that Sunday afternoon's his favorite time because we're all scurrying to get ready to go back to work, and he doesn't have to worry about that anymore. So we certainly appreciate Don being here. And then Joe Barnett Jr. is here in the middle and representing the Barnett family, and certainly a great addition and testimonial to what the original building was and what we now have. So thank you all. Thank you for being here. And I'll now relinquish the microphone to Nathan Reedy.
I'll have to say that I'm quite emotional today, so might be a little difficult to get through it, but you know what? I'm going to do it. It's amazing. After Dr. Smith visits, we've had a retirement, and we've had 4 or 5 votes in the Board of Regents to get this thing accomplished 5.5 years later. And I'd like to say I've dreamt about this day for a long time, and there was a lot of peaks and valleys within this project that, is this really going to happen, and is this really going to come to fruition? But this is amazing to see this many people that have interest in the Barnett Center and Northern State University today. This is an outstanding showing. Before I get started, I'd like to introduce my mother, Patty Reedy Kauser, her husband Bob. My dad's sister here today, Sheila Salwai, lives in Bismarck. My grandmother, my dad's mother, Violet Reedy, my wife Jackie, our oldest son Augustine, second oldest Maxwell, our little princess Reagan, and little Harry. So that's the Reedy family joining us today. Just to give you a little bit of the story, as Dr. Smith alluded to, this started with an invitation from Coach Don Meyer to Neil to be an honorary coach. And Neil was going through probably his 4th or 5th treatment of chemo and radiation, and said, hey, do you want to take Gus and Max and go and be an honorary coach? So we took up the offer, and it was quite an interesting experience being with Don in the locker room, and a lot of his positive reinforcements to some of his players. I'm glad some people laughed. Fast forward, we used to spend Sunday nights together as a family out at my parents' house, and Neil had told Don had come in to visit, and Neil had kind of shared that his battle with cancer was coming to an end, and his time on earth was limited, and in Don's way of doing things, said, hey, we talked about the locker room and said, let's really get out there and let's do this locker room. And I never really understood Don's motives, but he used to always get up and talk about how we don't need a locker room, and I was kind of confused by it. But at the end of the day, Don really gave Neil a purpose for those last 3 years. And essentially that's how we took it to Northern, was on an idea, on a motivation to give someone an opportunity to look forward to something on a daily basis. So that's essentially how we got to the locker room and took it to Northern. And obviously when Jim Smith came to campus, he did a master planning, I'd say survey would be the right word. And this is really what metamorphosed out of that. It started off as just a small locker room, and to Northern's credit, it really grew into this unbelievable facility. I think we have to thank all of those that have contributed. We saw checks from $5 to $250,000, and there's many guys that are out here today that contributed to this project when we didn't even have a drawing, we didn't even have an idea, didn't even have a concept, yet just stood forward and committed to build something in memory, for a friend, obviously, and also to help advance Northern. So I really have to commend those, and you know who you are, who took a chance, who committed to something that you didn't really even know that it would even come to fruition, and here we are today. So thank you for that. Obviously, Northern has received significant gifts, anonymous donors that have really catapulted this project that grew from a locker room into what it is today. Brenda, your tape was too good. Also, would like to thank some of the student athletes, a part of the men's basketball program at the time. You know, they played a role in us going out and campaigning. They played a role in helping us get through a difficult time in our lives. Kyle Schwans, Kevin Ratch, Casey Becker, Marty Greger, Matt Hammer, Brett Newton, and Mitch Beck ended up allowing us to be a part of their basketball family. And a big course of this campaign and a big course of why we're here today was a result of those young men and just some great young men that welcomed us into that basketball family. Also like to thank the leadership here at Northern. Dr. Smith came to campus and we held a little reception for him at our house. And I told him that you will not leave tonight unless you commit to building the Barnett Center. So he was here in Aberdeen for 3 days. And he did leave, and he did commit to building it. Also like to thank Todd Jordry. He played an instrumental role in the beginning and the inception of this project. I want to thank Zach Flackus for your role. And I want to thank Bob Olson. Bob was very gracious to us at the time we lost Neil. I called Bob at the funeral home and said, hey, you know, I think we should do something. I think we should really try to build this project. And, you know, let's create a fund here at the funeral. And Bob graciously accepted it, allowed us to have the funeral at the Johnson Fine Arts Center, and allowed us to have the reception here at the Barnett Center. So I'm really forever grateful to you, Bob, for your generosity and willingness to take this on in the early inception. Obviously, Don and Carmen, who made a significant gift to the Barnett Center, but their role as friends, their relationship with my parents, and Don's role as quite a friend during a hell of a battle with cancer that Neil had. I mean, he took out mailboxes to go and see him, and you know, he talked a lot about this locker room and why he didn't need it, and it took me a while to really figure out where Don was coming from, and that is that when you have an opportunity to give back to people and you have an opportunity to go and do something for someone else, how wonderful that you feel as a result of that. And I think I look at this project and say, this is about people really giving back to people. This is about people that really reached out to try to make someone else's life better. So with that, I really want to thank Northern. You have an absolutely wonderful facility here. Thank my family. I want to thank all of those that are here today that contributed, that have taken an interest in Northern State. Wish Northern the best of luck, and thank you very much for the opportunity.
Well, we're going to cut a ribbon in just a moment, but I didn't say that Don Meyer wasn't here today. Some of you can see that Carmen's here, but as only Coach Meyer would do, he scheduled a workshop today in Bismarck. And when we were talking about doing a ribbon cutting, Don says, you know, you pay me to make head count, you pay me to create FTE, you don't really pay me very much to come for ribbon cuttings, so I'm going to go to Bismarck and Carmen's going to come here. Those of you who know Don have no surprise over this. Don had very significant heart surgery and called me 3 times to apologize. He had to cancel a workshop in Texas, but then said to me, I'm going to Mississippi. Now, Carmen and Connie and I almost didn't make it out because of Hurricane Isaac, and Don wasn't worried about it at all. Carmen, he's wired differently than the rest of us. Those of you who know him, Carmen and Connie and I were a little worried about the hurricane. Don said, well, it'll be fine, and it was. So we wish Don was here with us today, but we certainly appreciate his generating workshop credits for us in Bismarck. And those of you who have not been to one of Don's workshops, I have never sat through from beginning to end until I went to Mississippi with him, and it is about the most astounding 7 hours that you'll spend in a day. So if you have an opportunity in the future to spend a day with him on the leadership tour, I think you'll certainly appreciate it. We are going to cut a ribbon. I'm going to ask our retired athletic director, that sounds odd to say, Bob Olson, to come forward. our current athletic director, Josh Moon. I think Mike Bergen is going to represent the foundation because Todd Jordry is not here with us today. Not that he didn't want to be, but he had a conflict. And then we're going to have the Reedy family with us. And we're going to have two athletes that are going to hold the ribbon in the various corners here. And I think this really tells the story. The story's not about what we were able to do, what all of you were able to do with your contributions, because that's a story you can tell on any campus. But the story that we tell today with the two students that we have representing us are having a student like Matt Muehlner's three-time All-American, two-time national wrestling champion at Division II, and I think Matt's going to be on this end. And then joining Matt will be Michaela Barando, who is a 1,000-point scorer in basketball, school record holder in the steeplechase, and a two-time academic All-American. That's what we do this for. That's why we come to work every day. That's why we get excited about these kinds of additions, because it's the students that really make our life exciting and make this facility come to life. So let's come forward. I didn't say I want Carmen Meyer to join us as well. Let's come forward and then figure out how we're going to operate these scissors. This side, all right? There we go. Here we go, here we go. Closer, closer. Carmen, right here. All right, Coach, get over here. All right. Max, come on. Swap around here. All right, guys. Getting everybody situated? Thunder, you got the hold there? All right. For those of you who are operating cameras, we're going to go 1, 2, 3, and then cut. We ready? 1, 2, 3,